Hi everyone, I'm Grottles and welcome to the Best Start 3. This is episode 15 and we are making a mini mega factory. So at our base, our old base, we're just jumping right in. At our old base, we had 1 copper, 2 iron, 2 concrete, 1 caterium, and then we also had 2 SAM and 1 quartz. So a lot of this stuff is going to be making some pretty heavy stuff. So we're going to probably make us some heavy modular frames. We're going to make computers. We're going to make AI limiters. We're going to make circuit boards, high-speed connectors, and yeah, we got a lot of stuff to make. This is kind of the parking garage. Let me make sure my flashlight is on for you. So we have SAM and concrete here. Over there we have concrete. Over there we have another SAM. So that's 2 SAM, 2 concrete. Over here we have an iron here, and we have an iron over here. Back there we have a copper, a caterium, and a quartz. So let me bring you up to the next floor. This is going to be where the trucks will come through or anything else like that. So we're good. We're going to put some truck stops to pick up stuff and stuff like that. This is just going to be logistics. Do we need it this big? I don't know, but I'm really running everything nice and tight and along the wall. It just makes it nice and clean looking, even if I have to drop it down like I did with the copper here. So this way it just fits in nice and clean. So up to the next floor. Let's come on up here. So here is where we're doing some of this smelting. Let me just switch that so you can see that better. So we have copper being made into ingots on this one. We have iron being made into ingots here, and then we have caterium, which is going right from smelters into constructors, making quick wire. So I'm going to show you all the numbers, so don't panic, but there is 2 floors to each one of these. So over here we have 16 smelters, so 8 below, 8 above. Same thing with the iron and the other iron. And then the caterium, we have 2 floors of 3 smelters going into 3 constructors, and they are overclocked. Let me take a look here. So smelters for caterium, it's different. This takes 45 caterium, and these guys over here only take 30 ore to make 30 ingots. This one is 45. So in order to kind of cut back a little bit, what we did was we made it 8. So caterium is, what I say, 45. We pushed it up to 80. And 80 times 6 is the 480. And that's why we have 3 above and 3 below. So that's pretty much it. Now, the output of these, though, if you look, is 133. So 133 times 6 was way too much for our belts. So also I blueprinted this, and you can't fit 6 into there anyway. But this is even way more than I think Mark 5. Mark 5 is 780. So the thing is, if we split it into 3, that is plenty for our belts to handle. So we're going to be able to split this in 2. So that's the one and that's the other, to put that into storage. So what are we doing with the copper sheets? The copper sheets are going to go to, let's come on over here, because I kind of did all the numbers and worked out everything that I could. So copper sheets are going to the circuit boards. We're going to make copper sheets, and silica are going to make the circuit boards. So where is that? Here, right here. So we're using the alternative recipe, which is the silicon circuit boards. So that's where we need the copper sheets. And that will work out perfectly for what we're doing, because we're going to be making silica from our quartz node. Here we're going to have 4 assemblers making 10 crystal oscillators. So that's going to be important. We need cable. That is the one thing we need to bring in, as well as the reinforced plates. Those 2 things need to be imported from our other factories. let's come down over to here, which is our quick AI limiters. Quick wire and copper sheets. Copper sheets we will be making. I am splitting these up with the ones over there, so they will be able to manage that. Over here, we got high-speed connectors. Quick wire, silica again, and 2 circuit boards, which will be making the circuit boards down there. I think 54 of those. And next, we're going to make crystal oscillator computers. Again, another alternative recipe. 3 circuit boards and crystal oscillators. So I had split these. I know 2 assemblers for here, 3 assemblers for here, 4 assemblers for here. That is so I know how I'm splitting up the silica and the copper sheets and everything else. So right now, we are just in the first step of making this mini mega factory, which is basically smelting. Quick wire is already done, but these guys have to go into another alternative recipe, which is, let's take that out here. This is going to be iron pipes. You don't get a lot of iron pipes, not as much as you would get from actual steel pipes. But again, we're going to be using another alternative recipe right in here, which is the Encased Industrial Pipes. So the pipes are going to be made into encased beams, basically. And we're going to do that twice. So we have 2 concrete and we have 2 iron, and that is how we're going to do that. So now that all the iron is smelted into ingots, I need to set up our sheets and our pipes. So I made some blueprints for this. Now again, I am super... Wow, I'm getting DM'd. Hold on one sec. So copper sheets, I made blueprints, and I started to say, as always, if you come into my Discord and you want any of these blueprints, you want any of my save games so you can see exactly what I'm doing, come into the Discord, just say, Grattles, can I please have the blueprints? If not, check the save game downloads channel, because I put some save game stuff in there and blueprints in one of them too. You'll see it. But anyway, I made blueprints for these, so let's go to our blueprints. So the first one we'll set up is the copper sheets at 480. So these are here. We got to spin this around and make sure that the input is correct. I'm going to press H. So now I want these guys, because these outer ones right here are going to have to go into that input in the middle. So let's line this up. I think we have plenty of room to do that. I want this to hook there. And that should be perfect. Let's check this side. That looks perfect. Come down, and that looks perfect. So now I want to just show you what I did with these constructors. So these guys are set to 30 per minute. So that's exactly what's coming out of here, 30 per minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to not mess with the up and down. These guys are going to merge. So we're going to take these mergers here, right? And we're going to take these and put them right in front of this guy here. We could center it. It's fine. We're going to... Let's grab a belt. It's already colored. And we can go into... Why is that not going into there? Did I point it in the wrong direction? I might have. Oh, let's try that again. Merger. Oh, these are pointed in the wrong direction. Motherfucker. Alright, well, now I see what I have to do. So, what I'm going to have to do is, I'm going to have to go like this, because apparently I set up the outputs of those wrong, which is, it's fine. And I'm going to go like this, and you'll see it'll work just fine. So if we take this, we go like this, there you go. It goes right over there, you don't even notice it. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. It happens. I mean, when you're making these blueprints, you don't necessarily know where you're going to want your outputs. So I guess I put my outputs down in here, which again is fine. That was not fine. It's fine. Let's try that again, because I'm an idiot. There we go. No, there. Don't spin on me this time. Alright, so we're going to do that. We're going to do this. There we go. Let's grab that. Well, I don't want that one. That's not even colored, but now I can grab that one. And we'll just go like this and like that. Perfect. Alright, so now we could just go in from here to here. So anyway, I'm going to do the same thing with these guys that I did down below, which is merge them with the right over the tops, and then we'll start setting up the iron. Now the iron's going to be a lot different, right? We only need 6 constructors for this up and down set. So I have to figure out, do I want to put them on the top or do I want to put them on the bottom? I'm thinking I want to put them on top. And what I could do is possibly set up like our quartz and our concrete too on some of these floors. So let's jump up here. I have a blueprint of the iron. So let's see what we got. So we got the iron pipes here. And we're going to need the input to the back. Let's just press H, because I want to see how these are going to line up here. So obviously these are going to line up here. And I want them to line up with the beginning or the start of these guys, which means they have to come back 1. And that looks good there. And that's going to be there. And then we're going to have to do that again for the next set. Again, I didn't put any merges on these. I will definitely hook that up. But how are we going to do this, right? We're going to have to pick up this. And we're going to have to pick up the bottom outputs to put them into here. So, this is going to here. We're going to need a merger. And it's going to have to come into here. Let's do that there. I think what we'll do is, let's go ahead, jump downstairs a second. So these guys, on the ends here, where is it? This one. And this one. They're going to have to merge up. Let's grab this. Bring that up. And I'm wondering if I come past that to there. Because that's the, that's the outputs. That's right. I forgot about it. We're going to have to come from back here. Alright, so we're going to have to jump down here. And let's grab that. Come up. We're going to have to come past that. Line it up with this guy, like that. That's going to be the deal. And then we're going to paint that like that. And then we're going to need a merger, because that's going to have to come from there and go there. And then that's going to get merged out. So let me color this, because I do like it all color-coded here. And then we're going to need to grab that belt and put it in there. So I'm going to have to do this for all 4 iron. Well, 3 left now. So I'm going to go ahead, hook it all up, and I'll be right back. Alright, so now that this side is all hooked up, let's go back to the front. And here we have that merger here. What we're going to do here is we're going to grab that guy. And that is going to come like that. Just like we did below for the copper. I'm going to grab another merger. That's going to go here. I'm going to do this again. And then I'm just going to grab the belts and connect them up. So I don't think I did the power for these guys, but I will do that now. And then I'll set up the mergers and I'll be right back. Alright, so because we have the iron pipes being made here, I think a good place to set up our constructors for our concrete would be right underneath them. And now I have a concrete there and I have a concrete over there. So I had made blueprints again for the concrete. Actually, let's edit this. I want to move this up to there. Actually, let's come below this one. There we go. Apply changes. So here's our concrete here. These are the 480. We can come and do the same thing we did. I want the input to be that way. I'm going to press H. I'm going to line these up. and then move them out. So they have to come this way and move them down that way. And obviously they're gonna have to come all the way back. So here's the center here. That's gonna line up with that. That lines up with that. Perfect. We're gonna do that again on this side. Up here. Press H. Move it back one. Now that's lined up with that. That's lined up with that. Perfect. Let's paint that the concrete color so I can copy that. Okay. And then we're going to grab the middle one here. Drop that in as well. There we go. Alrighty. So let's come down over to here because that is going to be where the one concrete is, which is somewhere over here. There it is right there. Let's paint that the right color. That is concrete. Can I grab those lifts? Let's do that. There we go. I'm going to push this pretty high to there. And then we're going to take a belt and run it really tight against this wall. There. These guys are pointed in this direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it probably tight against that wall. Run it this way. And then we'll just run it right to there. Alright, let's make that the concrete color. I like to be able later on when I'm looking for something to just look up and say, okay, that's concrete. Silica is going to be the same color, but this has the orange through it because it's the fix-it color. So, alright, we're going to do the same thing over here. Let's remove a floor so I can see what I'm doing. Let's grab that guy. So I can grab that. This is painted purple. It should not be. It's fine. I'm gonna come there. I'm gonna paint that concrete color, obviously. Alright, like I said, we still have Sam over in this corner. I'm not too worried about it. What I might do, though, is to just figure out where it is. It's right there. Let's grab a lift and just set it in so I know approximately where it's going to be. It doesn't have to stay there, but I do know where it is. Alright, and that should be fine. Let's go ahead and grab this white belt, which is the concrete belt. And I'm just going to run it pretty tight against here. So, go there. Now, all of these can be moved if necessary, right? It's not like, you know, they're in there solid and I can't do anything about it. I can definitely move them once they're there. It's a pain because you pick up all the stuff on it, but it's completely fine, right? But hopefully we won't have to move anything and it'll be completely fine. Let's take that out a second. I want to replace that with the 4s. Well, that one out. Alright, so that's the concrete. That's the concrete going in. Let's jump up and make sure we have some power, which we don't. Alright, I'm going to hook this up to some power, and I'll be right back. Alright, so here we are. We got the pipes, we got the concrete, we got the copper sheets, we got the quick wire. So now, I also have SAM, 2 nodes of that, and I still have quartz to do. Alright, so now we have our constructors for our quartz. I think what we're going to do is set one up here and one down here because it's 6 in total, and they're going to be split up into Silica and Quartz Crystal, and then I think we'll do the Reanimated SAM right over in here. So, up here, let's go ahead and go into blueprints, and we'll go to quartz. This is half of the quartz. We're going to want the input over here. So let's do this. I'm going to press H. I want this lined up just like we did. So it'd be there. And this is... make sure this is where it should be. This can get moved down, even though it matches up with that. Do we want it to match up with this? That works, yes. So that's perfect. We're going to place that down. We're going to go down beneath and do it on this one. Okay, let's go over to here. Just gonna press H. And then we're gonna bring it back to match with that guy. This gives us a full thing here. Yep, that's perfect. And do that. Now, we have to go up to the top again. We're gonna grab a lift and then run it down all the way to this floor here. And that's where the quartz is gonna come in. Now we can come right there, and there's where the quartz is. So let's grab this. Let's come straight. So as you can see, the straight mode is really wonky, and that is because of the miner. I'm gonna come from this direction. We're gonna just come out and swing out that way. I am gonna paint this in the pink. It just makes it more distinct of what it is. I'm gonna take this now, wrap it around this guy, come around this way. Now let's see, where's the middle here? I think we can come right about here. That's pretty close. Alright, so the quartz will be going in, but we have to go to the middle floor to make sure we split that in half. So let's come on up here. And with this splitter, we're going to do the same thing. Control. And get that plugged in. And make it pink. And now we need power. Alright, so I'm going to hook up the power above. And I'll be right back. Alright, so now Quartz Crystal and Silica are being made. And as you can see, they are the right numbers. Alright, so I actually condensed the Reanimated SAM into basically a 4x4. It's strange, but let me show you the blueprint before we actually just put it down in the spot. Because I'm not even sure if I'm going below or above. Probably below. But let me show you how I kind of did this setup. So I did 2 splitters right in the middle. And I did these lifts. Let me remove a lift for you so you could see. If I hook it up to this machine, it does clip into the splitter below. But honestly, I don't mind. I did it like this because I'm going to put the inputs here, and it kind of just saves in room. We have plenty of room, but I just liked it really compact like this. And this way I could put both SAM nodes into each of them, and that would be that. So let's go into the blueprints. We're going to go into the SAM. We're going to grab that. I want the input towards the back. Now, I'm going to press H because this is a tight fit. And the sides are going to be touching the walls. They will be, yes. But we really don't need to come into here. So I'm just going to keep this right up to the edge of this one. Say right there. That looks about right. And again, there's no real wall space. But with the windows in there, you'll be able to walk around. So I'm not worried about it. So this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to set up a lift here, right? We're going to drop down to this set right here. Not here. Not here. One above. One above. Here. And I guess that could come in from that side as well. Let's see. Alright, so next, this is where it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to come in. We don't want this to clip here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up something right here. And that's going to set up there. I'm going to connect a belt to this. And then what I'm going to do is delete this lift. I'm going to make this purple too so I know exactly what I'm doing here. Alright, let's drop down. So this one, I am down too far, as I did before. Come back up into here, this one. And this one, again, we'll turn it like that. Alright, So now, let's grab the belt from this one right here. This has... that's really tight. That's pushed against the wall there. I'm wondering. Like I said, it's not permanent stuff, right? But I could technically move that guy. And then what I'll do is I'll run this one against the wall here. And we'll come this way. Alright, so we are here. I want this one to match up with that. And then this guy back here has to be purple. Because that is our SAM. So as you can see, it fit in there really nicely. Is my flashlight not on again? There we go. I don't know why my flashlight keeps turning off. I keep turning it on, it keeps turning it off. It's fine. This one, we're gonna run it this way. And then I'm just gonna run it all the way back to there. And I'll be right back. Alright, so now the SAM is hooked up down here. Go up here. Make sure everybody is on. It looks good. I just need to get power to it. Alright, so down here we have some storage. So this is our quartz crystal. This is our quick wire. That is going to dimensional depots, silica, dimensional depots. I did end up bringing down our concrete over here and our pipes over here. And again, over here is the concrete and the pipes. So on top of that, I marked what each one is bringing in. So this is 160 concrete per minute and 120, and this way I have an idea of what's being stored in these containers. 180 and so on. Upstairs, that is where we're going to get into some encased beams. So each one of these is 2%. Let me move my mic a little closer. There we go. So the most I'm making out of each is 120 steel pipes, right? We're gonna have a little bit of concrete left over. That's fine. So I have 1, 2. That's for the one set of pipes and concrete. And 1, 2 here for the concrete and pipes here. So I'm just gonna open up these floors really quick, just so I could see where we're gonna be splitting this stuff up here. Alright, so let's drop down this guy. We could probably bring him to the ceiling. Alright, there we go. Okay, so that is absolutely fine. I'm gonna do that there. And then also over here, 1 and 2. So now this is gonna get split down the line. Come in that way, and then we could do this one, split it in that way. So next, we're gonna have to add that, and spin that around, do that one, and put a belt across here, and a belt across here. So that is going to be the inputs for either concrete or pipes. Doesn't really matter too much. What's going into storage here is where we're gonna come out of here. Alright, so that took care of the pipes. And literally just dropping it down just a little bit, they don't clip and it looks really nice. Next, we're gonna have to do the concrete. Maybe what we'll do is we'll have them come in from this side. Alright, so that's gonna take care of the encased beams. So we have that hooked up for all 4 machines. I just need to run in some electric, and we'll be good to go with the encased beams. Alright, so because these are only producing 10 per minute in each one, not a lot, honestly, but we do have 40 per minute being made, what we'll do is we'll combine this and drop it down into a storage container just below here. Probably, yeah, I mean, I don't see why we can't do it right here. Where is that shadow coming from? Oh, over there. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we'll drop it right down into here. Put a storage container probably back in here kind of trying to keep it as compact still so it's not messy, because we're going to have other things that are going to be working with us down that way. So this is what I'm thinking. Let's grab a merger, and we're going to have that come in from here, and then we're going to come this way and bring it this way, and then those two will come right here and we'll drop it down that way. So let's go ahead and put some belts in. So anyway, now we have encased beams in here. I am going to press this. We're going to turn that into the concrete color. I think that just makes sense. And then what I'll do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to add it to this guy right here. I'm going to go into here, change this to encased beams. And then I'm going to go to the text and just put in 40. And that's what we got. So that's where that's going. And I think that looks nice, neat, clean. And there's no issues with that. Go ahead. I'm going to color all the parts here so it all matches to the encased beams. And I'll be right back. Alright, so everything's colored. And I'm thinking now, let's go back to the beginning and start checking off everything we've done. Next up, we actually need circuit boards. We'll need the copper sheets and we'll need the silica. We need 3 assemblers to do that. So let's come over to the next one, and then we need the crystal oscillators. So in order to make the computers, we need the circuit boards, we need the crystal oscillators. The computers are down here, which is circuit boards and crystal oscillators. So basically, let's see what we're gonna need. We're gonna need these 2 machines to make the computers. That's number 1. We are making the silica, we're making the copper sheets. We're making the quartz crystal here, but we are not making cable or reinforced plates. So we are going to have to import cable and reinforced plates, which probably means another truck. So far, so good with the trucks, but I also want to see where we're going to set these up. We're going to need 3 assemblers, and this is not assemblers, this is manufacturers. That is a mistake. I'm just going to do that because it'll probably go over my writing. So yes, these are manufacturers. So I need 4 manufacturers and I need 3 assemblers. So we have quite a lot of things we're going to do. I will be back. I'm going to go over what we kind of need, make some truck stops for the cable and the reinforced plates, which we do have in our storage facility. And yeah, I'll be right back. So because I felt like it was getting very repetitive of laying down the machines and hooking them up with the belts, I decided to kind of just do it, and this way I could show you, because I didn't want you sitting through more belt hooking up and power and stuff like that. So this is where we got to. Alright, so I set up everything we need for everything else. And that was the crystal oscillators. We got 4 of them here. I haven't set up the back parts, don't worry. This is the computers. This will be, let's double check, the circuit boards. And then up here in this space, I did the AI limiters right here, and the high-speed connectors. Now none of these are hooked up just yet to the backs, but I do want to show you that I made some truck stops for the cable and the reinforced plates. That would be on this right here. I gotta get my flashlight going. So here we have our reinforced plates, which I could put a little sign on this, and this is our cable. So I think I will get some signs to do that. I also want to show you our storage situation. Situation. So here we have, for the circuit boards, computers, and I did put our little labels on here. So this way we know what's coming in. So that's 10 per minute, and then we have AI limiters, high-speed connectors. Alright, everything is up and running, and to say it took several hours, it's not an exaggeration at all. To run every single thing, Some things needed to be split. Quick wire, silica, copper sheets. It's not an understatement to say that this took several hours. So let me show you why, because it gets a little crazy. So these are color coded to what is being brought in. That is silica and copper sheets. This is circuit boards and crystal oscillators. This is quartz crystal. This is reinforced plates and cable, and so on and so forth. So yes, I have a floor open here because I did a lot of up and down. So this area here, again, nothing is clipped, nothing is interacting with each other. This took, again, planning, and like even here, I had to split the circuit boards off. So I had to drop them down, split them here, then bring these over to here. These, let me show you, went up to this floor and then got split here and here. So just to get the circuit boards in without clipping. Again, nothing is clipping. Everything looks clean and neat, and everything's going out to where it needs to go. We are now making computers. We are making circuit boards. We are making crystal oscillators. We are making high-speed connectors, and we are also making AI limiters. I'm gonna leave it now and just let this run because, again, I might be doing some heavy modular frames, and I have to clean this up and finish the building. So I'm gonna get to work trying to figure out how I'm going to complete this building, and that's gonna take me several hours. But yeah, this, especially right up here, this ceiling or roof is gonna have to be a little bit different. These are a little taller. So yeah, I got a lot to figure out, but I will be back. Alright, so I ended up finishing the building up, and this is what I came up with. So in this building, you could come in these doors, and this is where the truck delivery is. And it is dark down here. I definitely need lights. I know that. I need lights everywhere. I wasn't making crystal oscillators, so I did not have a lot of lights going on. The only elevator in the building is this one. But it's functional, it works, and you have to get in from the outside. It's fine. This is our logistics floor where, like I said, autosave is complete. Thank you. Everything is ran. It looks messy, but it's not. It's really not. There's no clipping. There's no, I mean, everything is very clean and nicely lined up. I did end up taking the encased beams and the concrete. They are coming around to this side. And then I do have storage because we are now bringing in pipes and modular frames, and they're going up to that floor for those heavy modular frames. Let's go ahead up to the next floor. So here on this floor, a lot of this stuff is just stuff going on in the background. I obviously missed putting floor back. Most of this is just like stuff to be made, right? To use to make stuff. So that's why it's kind of tucked back here. It's the quick wire and the quartz and the pipes and the cement. Here's where really the stuff is that we are making. So we are making crystal oscillators, we're making computers, we're making circuit boards, we're making high-speed connectors, AI limiters, and heavy modular frames. So we do have ourselves a mini mega factory. And this is a lot of the stuff we needed to be making. Let's go into a manufacturer real quick and make sure we're making everything we could possibly making. So SAM fluctuators, I'm not worried about that. We don't really need them. Computers, crystal oscillators, check. Heavy modular frames, check. High-speed connectors. This is space elevator parts. That's probably what we're going to be doing the next time. And then let's check out an assembler. So in the assembler, we are making reinforced plates, modular frames, encased beams, circuit boards, computers. We are making rotors, stators. So stators and motors. Those are the two things we actually have to do next time. So we're going to probably just set up a little motors factory and probably work on finishing our milestones and getting into phase 3. So everything else we are making, so we are doing pretty darn good. So yeah, guys, that's gonna leave me off here. Again, if you like my content and you want to see more, like, subscribe, comment, share. I do have memberships, 99 cents, $2.99, and with the $2.99 you'll get a shout out after every video, and just like coming up next. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.